Hey up, welcome back. I thought I'd do something a little bit different on this one. So I'm going to take you for a tour around my Ryobi collection. Show you what I've got, what I think is good and which ones I think is not so great, and just give a little bit of a description on each one and see what you think you might be looking at getting next. So yeah, let's crack on with it. Right, start off with this air compressor, air ratchet. As you can see, I've not really used this much yet. I have used it a little bit. It seems to work quite well, but it is a little bit noisy. So then I'll just back you out a little bit. So I'll move that, leaving stuff everywhere. This thing is pretty good, to be honest with you. I do quite like using this one. Again, you've got your little pushy stick. There's a switch on back here, that's for your inspection lamp. It comes out at back, which it would have been better if it were a little bit longer. It sort of shines in wrong places, to speak. What I think I might do is I might just add some LEDs, might take that work light off and make my own lighting system to run through the same switch. But other than that, yeah, it's quite a nice machine. I have seen some versions where they've got a quick release mechanism. This one's not that. You've got to unscrew that there. So then we'll move on. Got scroll saw. This is a lovely bit of kit, to be honest with you. I do quite enjoy using this when the time comes that I need to do a little bit of work like what I did on that there. Worth getting. I know these two machines you can get them in other brands for cheaper than what these retail at. Now I only bought these because I got them on a discount deal. Can't remember exactly what I paid for them, but I know it were a good deal at the time, so that's why I've ended up with them. I have put them to use though, they seem quite good. So we'll move on. Got a fast charger that will charge a 5 amp battery up in, well, about 45 minutes I think. I've never really timed it, but it seems to do it fairly quick. They're obviously a little bit slower. Then we've got a work light. This thing has 3 brightness levels. It's come in very useful, especially if you're working on your car and it's getting a bit dark, or doing out in house which you just need that little bit extra light. It is very bright. It does definitely lights up the area well, and it's got a little magnet on front. Yeah, then I've got my 16 gauge nail gun. Nah, for nail guns, if you're working in a shop, for instance, and you've got access to a compressor every day that you're working, I'd go with an air one for compressor, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at the review video I did on this, I show my other air compressor nail gun. It's so much smaller, lighter, and works a lot quicker. But if you're working on site and you haven't got easy access to a compressor, or it would mean you're having to take a compressor with you, then yeah, by all means, it it does what it's supposed to. It is a little bit slow, big, you know, it's massive thing, but it works well. You know, it's I don't regret buying it. I will be using it, you know, when I need to do stuff in house, for instance, and I haven't got access to my compressor. Then that is the main reason why I bought that. It will come in very useful. So moving on, we've got edge shears. These are supposed to be anti-jam. Now, when I first bought these, started cutting edge, they jammed up. Thought, bloody hell, that's great, you know what I mean? It says anti-jam right there. I thought, what's going off here, like? So anyway, I couldn't get it going. What I ended up having to do is smash button loads of times really quick, and eventually it sort of kicked in and started going again. And it did that twice, but it's never done it again. And they work absolutely brilliantly now. I don't know why I had that issue to start with. You can alter your angle of your handle, which makes it a little bit easier when you're doing sides and stuff like that. But like I say, I've never had a problem with them again, and they do work really well. It was just the first use that I had an issue with. But yeah, so we'll skip over onto this side. Got trimmer. This is only one wire. It's not a double wire. It's just got one wire sticking out. But the head is all flexible. You can have it all ways around, and you know, for trimming edgier grass to doing round posts, stuff like that. It's not the most powerful one I've ever used, but it's convenient being cordless, you know, and it does the job. I've only got a small amount of work for this, so I didn't want to splash out on the most expensive one when really every time I do garden, this only gets 2 minutes use at most. So yeah. Then we'll go up here. Fan. Obviously it's bloody cold at the minute, so that's just gathering dust. But it's when heat waves come. Yeah, it's got 2 speed settings, slow and fast. On fast it is fairly noisy. On slow it is reasonable. You know, we have it in bedroom when it's red hot, and just have it on low speed. Creates a nice gentle breeze across bed, and it's not too loud that you can't fall asleep. You know, it's not too bad at all. So then, well, in fact, we've got this little beauty, little wet and dry shop vac. This is cordless as well. This is part of OnePlus. It's reasonably good, to be honest with you. Only thing I would say I've got an issue with is this hose. It's like you're forever fighting with it. There's no flex to it at all. It's just I think the hose is the only thing that lets it down, and I probably will have a look at getting a replacement hose. Something a bit more flexible would be brilliant, but other than that, it works like brilliant. Couple it up to a lot of your tools, you know, circular saw and stuff like that. Saves making a mess everywhere. Just come in useful. You know, then we'll do this bottom row. Sorry. Just done a review on this and compared it to these other grinders. This is the brushless one. This is a fantastic grinder. Really is something very powerful. If you're only looking at buying one grinder, you know, yeah, that one is about 30 quid dearer than what these ones are, but it's worth, it is definitely worth paying that extra money for that one. And these, well, they're alright. I thought they were alright until I got that, and then realised just how crap these ones are, if that makes sense. So yeah, they are good for very light work, a bit of cleaning up with a wire brush, and you know, odd little bit of like cleaning steel up and stuff like that. But this will shape steel, you know, carve into steel with this. It's got that much power on it. And then moving on, I've got my brushless drill. This I would not recommend. Stay clear of this. This is by far the worst Ryobi tool I have bought. Didn't start off like that. Obviously you can see I've had quite a lot of use out of this. Let's see if I can show you. The chuck has got loads of wobble in it. It's very intermittent when you've got it on speed 2. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. You have to fiddle about changing it from speed 1 to speed 2 to try and get it working. Plus it is brushless, but it's not got the extra 2 contacts on it. Personally, I'd ignore this one, go for a different one. Yeah, it's been a bit of a letdown, this one, to be honest with you, and I will be upgrading it to something better later on in the year. Moving down here, brushless impact driver. This also hasn't got the 2 extra terminals, but I'm very impressed with this one, to be honest with you. Use it for working on car, put your hang on, let me have a look. Put this, which comes with it, use that, and you can use all your sockets. Don't have to whip all nuts and bolts off when you're working on car. I will say, it's got, if you look here, it's got different speed settings, you know, like power settings 1 to 3, and then it's got like an auto shut off for, or as they got it as decking mode or something. But if you're using this to tighten nuts up, make sure you've got it on speed 1, because I soon figured that one out when I went to tighten a nut up on my wife's car, and it just went and snapped it straight off, and like, oh bugger. So yeah, that I do really like that one. That is it's one to look at. Then got multi-tool. This, I use it quite a lot. I have done a review on this. I will leave a link in description. I'll also leave a link to a good UK website that sell all these Ryobi tools. It's one I've found to have like the best prices, and they are a really good company to deal with. So, but yeah, this one, it's a little beauty. I use it, like I say, I use it for a lot of sanding. You'll see it in my review video that I did of it, what I actually think of that. And then I'll come down a bit further. Got my 1/2 inch impact gun. This isn't the brushless one, but if you look, this brushed version with the 3-speed has a lot more Newton meters of torque than what the brushless version does. I've heard the brushless one is a bit pants, to be honest with you, but this, it's got some power to it. You know, taking wheel nuts off, no problem. I even did engine rebuild on a old Vectra GSI that I've got, V6 engine, and that took the crankshaft pulley wheel nut off. You know, I got it off using that, and it was well and truly rusted on there. I was struggling to get it off, but then I managed to get. I tried that, and that got it straight off, no problem. So we're quite pleased with that. It's definitely had quite a lot of use, this one. You might be wondering, I know a lot of them do look clean. I do like to clean them when I've used them, put them all back nice and clean. This one, so let me get a better angle on it. This my little sister bought me this for Christmas, so it is new to me. I've only done one tube in it, which were on the review video, which will be in link in description. But yeah, it does the job it's supposed to do, you know, and does it well. It's not bad. I will be putting that to some good use in future. Now, I've got here Sds Drill. Now this I actually bought second hand off someone with that grinder for cheap. It were off a mate. It practically just gave them me, you know what I mean? These and 2 4-amp batteries and 2 battery chargers. So I've not actually used this. I've never really needed. I've not done a job that required this drill yet, so I can't really comment on that. It's just they're filling a space up, and when I do actually need it, then I've got one. But as of now, I've not really used that. I will say this this grinder though, the switch did break on this, like a little block switch inside it. Repaired that. That cost me like £1.50 for a new switch. Fixed that. That was no problem. So, right, go up into here. We'll start on top. Got router. That thing is brilliant. I love that. That's definitely given me a lot more creative stuff to do. And radio, that's alright. I've not tried the Bluetooth on it. I just stick a battery in and have radio on. I have found though that sometimes it can be playing alright, and then all of a sudden, you know, after like an hour, it'll just lose signal. You'll have to move it and like piss about with aerial to try and get signal back again. But other than that, it's not too bad. I can't say what it's like with working it with Bluetooth because I've not done that yet. So, and then moving on here, got the Brushless Jigsaw. That has got the extra terminals for the high energy batteries. That is very nice bit of kit. This it's got plenty of power to it, and that's just with a normal battery. I do really like this one. This is another one of my favourite ones, to be honest with you. And then we've got the Brushless Circular Saw. This one is also quite a nice one. I'll just put that down on the floor a minute. I will say with that, that has got the extra terminals for the high energy batteries, and you know, it's not too bad. It works pretty well. I have had it slightly bogged down a little bit with some work that I was doing, but that was just only once, and it was quite damp wood going against grain. It did seem to just bog down a little bit, but it did keep going and got the job done. But I don't know what difference it'll be when I actually get a high energy battery. That does come with a little fence or stop or whatever they are called. I'll just put that back in here. Right, and then move down here. Got your rotary tool. That I've also done a review on. That is another good one. I do quite like that. It's a really good little die grinder. And going over here, got the hot glue gun. Now this does get really hot. You know, really molten glue, but it's also a little bit annoying because you put it down, turn it on, and when it gets up to temperature, it's just runs. It runs and runs and runs and drips. And you can put a full glue stick in, and you can use half of the glue stick on a job that you're doing, and the other half of the glue stick will end up in a puddle on the floor. So it is good, but it's very wasteful of glue. You've got to be careful where you put it down, because you will end up with a puddle of glue underneath it. Then the Ryobi Stapler, that is a fantastic little machine as well. That does what it's supposed to do, and it does it well, and I've used that quite a lot. I do quite like this one. You can just rapidly stick staples in. You know, there's no waiting. You just put it down, pull the trigger, it's straight in. You know, it's like rapid fire on that thing. Yeah, so that's another good one to have. Then behind here, we've got the soldering iron. That is brilliant. If you ever do any soldering or out like that, that is another fantastic bit of kit. Well worth buying that. In my opinion anyway. I do quite a lot of soldering. I have got a proper soldering station up here, and well, I tend to use that more. Well, in fact, I've not used the soldering station since I've had this one, to be honest with you. It's just easier just to grab that, whack a battery on and go and do what I need to do. And then finally, the Orbital Sander. This is also quite a nice tool, works really well. You can couple that up to that, and it does create quite some suction through them holes in bottom. It's definitely another one to add to the collection, if you ask me. It's quite a good one. Right, well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that bit of a tour of my Ryobi collection. I know they're not to everyone's taste, but for what I use them for, hobby use, they are fairly good. Like I said, the only one I've ever really been disappointed with is that drill. Yeah, I'd avoid that one if I were you. But as for rest, it depends on what you're going to be using them for, really, you know what I mean? Some I use more than others, but I'm glad I've got them all, you know, because they're there when I need them. So anyway, if you like the video, you know what to do. This little subscribe thingy round about here, give that a whack, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.